Hello, guys. Welcome to the Show. We have been, I guess, off the last few days. We were doing a couple Q&A sessions with my office hours. I didn't really feel like doing, any stories, and so I always love to throw in some Q&A sessions that are more relaxed and open-ended. But we heard a story recently through Brett Cooper that I wanted to cover, and it's about these homos that are raging and upset about being banned from a crew from docking the docks in a country. We're going to get into all the details, but um, you can probably imagine based off the title and thumbnail what countries they were visiting on this gay cruise and why they were not allowed to dock. Hey Pixie, how's it going? Hey live chat, welcome to the show tonight. Before we get right into the video, we want to remind you guys that I'm going to be using these videos in fair use. I'm going to be commenting, criticizing, and reviewing the videos, but they do not belong to me. The first video is going to be coming from the YouTube channel Sky News Australia, which is, I would say, it's a far right media company. I tend to like them overall, but it is important to note that they can be pretty biased at times. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind whenever you're consuming their content, right? Sometimes it's important to, get your news from different sources while keeping in mind the apparent biases, right? But I do enjoy their reporting in general. Okay, so that's going to be the first video that we watch, and then maybe after watching this little clip, we'll watch a little bit of Brett Cooper's episode on this topic. So let's get right into it. Let's blow this up. This is gonna be a wild ride, and we'll do some commentary throughout.
LGBTQ activists have spent the past 20 years protesting that the West is a terrible place in which to be gay. But this week, those same activists are getting a lesson in the difference between Western intolerance and actual intolerance, thanks to our good friends in the Muslim world. Earlier this month, a cruise ship full of homosexual men set sail from Athens. The itinerary, well, it sounded wonderfully progressive. The Scarlet Lady, that's the ship, would sail to Turkey so the almost 2,000 gay men on board could mingle with the locals and get a taste for Islamic culture. Here's a little taste of what was headed Turkey's way. But in a plot
I know that cruise ship was a fun time. I know they had the biggest ball on that cruise ship that day. They were just living their best lives, reveling in all the debauchery. I know they were just loving it. Wow. That's funny.
twist visible from the International Space Station, Turkish authorities refused permission for the ship to dock. I know, right? It's a decision no one on what had been advertised as an epic all-gay cruise could possibly have seen coming. But Turkish authorities complained the LGBTQ ship was populated by, and I quote, groups known for behaviours that do not align with the structure of our society and our moral values. Now, just in case anyone was tempted to search for hidden nuances, they added this. There is absolutely no possibility of the group in question visiting our province for an event of this nature.
They said, we don't want you to misconstrue our words. This is not funny, but it's funny. Turkey said, I don't want you to misinterpret what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we don't fuck with the gays. We don't fuck with you homos. That's what we're saying. So don't get it. We don't fuck with y'all like that. Oh my god.
Subtle as a brick through a stained glass window. The passengers, however, well, they seemed genuinely bewildered. And you can almost understand why. I mean, after years of being told that Islamists and LGBTQ activists are natural allies against Western oppression, it must have come as something of a culture shock to discover the alliance only exists on university campuses. But their disappointment quickly turned to sparkles when the cruise captain announced they'd head to Egypt instead. Here's one of the passengers who also works for the cruise organizer.
Gay cruise update. Okay, so I'm on the gay cruise that was denied entry into Turkey. And it's like, so what? Who cares? If you want a great hair transplant, go to South Korea. So we redirect. We're going to Egypt now instead. Amazing.
Now, maybe it's just me,
Spoiler alert.
but Turkey said no. Egypt will love us. Never struck me as a great plan B, especially when travel advisories have been politely trying to lower expectations for years. The Intrepid travel website warns Egypt is not a safe destination for LGBTQ travellers. Public attitudes towards same-sex partnerships are openly hostile and can include physical violence. And yet the ship full of gay men headed for Egypt anyway, with everyone excitedly waving rainbow flags.
I just want to know who, a part of this cruise line organization, this business, who is the individual that decided we were going to send 2,000 gay men to Muslim countries? I need that person to be fired expeditiously. Honestly, truly. I need the person who decided they were going to take 2,000 gay men to Muslim countries. I need that person fired. It's crazy.
Then came another entirely unforeseeable development.
Wake up this morning, denied entry into Egyptian waters as well.
Well, I can't imagine the surprise.
Shock
Now,
of the
this doesn't
century.
say explicitly because we're gay, but it's because we're gay.
No shit.
I think that's a fair assumption.
But it's like, we're too gay to come spend a bunch of money in your country?
Yep.
We don't need gay fried people. Don't we?
Somewhere I'm convinced Queers for Palestine are convening an emergency meeting to determine how this is somehow Israel's fault. In the meantime,
Or Trump's
they're
fault.
blaming Trump.
As a gay man, it's really hard to hear. I know that this kind of prejudice is not new to these kind of countries. And obviously, I don't want to go anywhere that shares those kind of views. But you just can't help but feel that with this current administration, people around the world feel more emboldened to do these kinds of things.
Yep.
You can't make this shit up. Guys, you cannot make this shit up. The Trump derangement syndrome is just, it's another level. All of a sudden, we are now making it Trump's fault that Muslim countries are anti-gay. Meanwhile, mind you, these Muslim countries have been anti-gay since before Trump was fucking born. They've been violently anti-gay since before Trump existed. They have not changed. They've always been this way. And I don't think that Trump has emboldened them. They've always been this way. So to blame this on Trump is just like, no, look at the problem. The problem is these majority Muslim countries are kind of backwards sometimes, in my opinion. When you rule with religion, this is what happens. You get religious fundamentalism. You know. But to blame Trump for this, I think it's just total Trump derangement syndrome. And I'm sure that homo that said that is probably has a watermelon in his bio, in his profile, right? I'm sure he has a pro-Palestine watermelon in his goddamn bio. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy, actually. Um, and he should be ashamed of himself, not for supporting Palestinians. No, because I mean, I believe in um, justice for them as well. But it's like these people, I think a lot of people are pro Palestine, not because they actually care about justice for all peoples and all individuals, but because it's the anti Western position to take, right? I think a lot of people are jumping on that position on that side because it's anti white, it's anti West, right? Um, And little do you know that these people will throw you off the roof of a balcony, the roof of a building any day now, right? Imagine having all these twinks twirling around Turkey, twirling around Egypt. Makes no sense.
Trump made Islamic nations hate gays. Muslims have no agency, they just react to Trump. A couple of points. First, the Turkish and Egyptian authorities may actually have done these passengers a favour. Refusing entry may have been considerably kinder than allowing them on shore.
That
Second,
part.
the naivety of these men is absolutely astonishing. I mean, in the same way they seem to genuinely believe they're oppressed in the West, they're genuinely surprised that Islamic nations don't want a floating pride parade docking in their harbours. Reality can be such an unforgiving travel companion. Third, how's the entitlement? I had to shake my head at this statement from cruise organiser Rich Campbell. He said, and I quote, "It's very concerning to me when a country decides they can pick and choose which tourists are allowed in and which are not."
You've got to be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You know, these liberals honestly do not believe in borders. They don't believe that countries should have agency. They actually genuinely believe in a universal governing body. They think that every country should behave in the same way, they should be run in the same way, and they should have the same rules. And especially if you are a rich person, that you should be allowed to do whatever the fuck you want to do. The audacity of this person. Yes, a country does pick and choose which tourists are allowed in and which are not. Because it's their fucking country. They have no concept of ownership at all. They have no respect for ownership at all. Because if they did, that something like this would not be uttered from their fucking pie holes. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. And this type of sentiment is why we have illegal immigration right now.
Well, that's kind of the way the world works, Richard. So the big question for everyone on the gay cruise now is, well, where next?
If you're a country watching this and you have ocean access, you host, we travel.
Tempted as they'll be, I really urge them not to sail for Gaza, though given the remarkable ability of the progressive left to mistake slogans for reality, you wouldn't bet your house against it.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, this is fucking crazy, y'all. I don't really understand how people get to the place where they are so idealistic. And that's all this is, really. You know, if you condense it down to its core, these are idealistic, naive people who are extremely entitled, who are also delusional about how the world actually works, right? You know, the world does not work the way you think it does, nor does it work the way that you want it to work. And reality really hit them upside their heads, not once with Turkey, but twice with Egypt. And while I am not happy that there are countries out there that are violently homophobic like this, what it does for me is it reminds me how great my country is, how amazing my country is, why I should remain grateful that I was born in America, because we do have freedom of expression and freedom of speech relative to other nations. And this is quite another reminder that the US is great, right? And it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't feel that way. And a lot of people would rather sympathize for these other countries, these third world countries, and they'd rather be anti-America and anti-Western values. And then, okay, well, if you don't like Western values, go live under Turkish values. Go live under Egyptian values. And let me know how that works out for you. If you like the video, leave a comment down below. To the live chat, what's going on? Oh, DJ's made it. DJ made it. Hey. Horizontals never notify, and this looks like a fire stream. What could possibly go wrong? Honestly, it's like asking the Jackson 5 to open for a KKK conference. Well, I don't know. Some of the Jackson 5 bleached their skin, so some of them could have blended in very well with the KKK. I don't know. Hi, MOP. How dare a country protect its border? Motherfucking foreigners. The audacity. Next stop, the Strait of Hormuz. Gonna make it the bend of Hormuz. That part. So, yeah, DJ, this is just fucking crazy. I figured we would also, as a bonus, hey Janelle Kearns, hey Janelle, what's going on, Janelle? I figured as a bonus for today's live stream, we would also watch Brett Cooper's coverage. It's a little bit longer, but I wanted to go with the Sky News segment because it was shorter and I could get like a 15-minute clip out of it. Whereas the Brett Cooper video was like 20 minutes long, but it's a great video. I've already watched it, but I love Brett Cooper, love her so much. Go subscribe to her if you haven't already. But she's really good. She's really, really, really good. Hey Janelle. Reminder, this is in fair use. This video does not belong to me. It belongs to Brett Cooper. Go watch her channel, go subscribe. It'll be a link to this video in the description box below. But yeah, let's watch. And now, you know, during this segment, since the first video will be posted on YouTube, I'll answer questions and we'll be more casual. So feel free to ask questions as we watch the video.
So guys, I was on vacation last week, and as it always happens, the moment I left town, a great big gay scandal erupted on the open seas. And I know that this has been going viral for like 5 days, but you have to give me this because I am desperate to talk about this story. It is just too good not to cover here on the show. So sit back, relax, let's figure out why on earth Turkey and Egypt would deny entry to this very specific big fat gay cruise. Now, before we dive into this story, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and click a like if you guys enjoyed this video. And of course, if you want to stay up to date on everything we do here on The Brett Cooper Show, make sure to ring that notification bell. All right, so this story really is so perfect because 2 weeks ago, we had the woman moving to Afghanistan for the man that she met on Snapchat. The entire internet was going,
Oh, I
my
heard
God,
about
what are you
that.
doing?
I heard
You
about
are
that.
an idiot. And now, this past week, we had almost 2,000 gay men trying to port, trying to go off and do tourism, gay tourism in Middle Eastern Muslim countries.
Crazy.
Makes sense.
Fucking
Just
crazy.
not smart. Anyway, so here's what happened. An LGBTQ events travel company called Atlantis Events chartered a Virgin Voyages ship called the Scarlet Lady for one of their annual cruises for gay men. Now, Atlantis has been running events for 36 years exactly. They do these programs all over the world, and apparently this cruise, though, is what they are known for. It is, again, thousands
Yep,
of gay men all crammed on one ship. They party every single night. There are drag queens and singers. We're going to get to the most infamous of the singers. There are raves. Everybody's dancing. They're in their assless chaps, their puppy masks, the whole thing. It's all over social media. And they do that every evening, and then they wake up to sightsee. You do you, obviously. Free country. We're going to get to that. It's really great that we live in a free country for these individuals. But you do
It's
you.
great.
However, that seems like my personal hell. Like, gay men aside, do not care. I just could not be trapped in a nude, basically nude, rave mosh pit at sea in the middle of the ocean.
For
no
5
way
days.
to escape.
Yeah.
Absolutely
do it.
not my
Couldn't
personal
do it.
hell. Anyway, moving on from that. The Scarlet Lady. This is the ship they are chartering. She embarks on her journey. They are
By the way, has anyone ever done a cruise before? I do love a cruise, but I'm very particular about the type of cruise I want to go on. I don't want it to be a gay cruise because how obnoxious would that be? I don't want a bunch of children either, also obnoxious. But I want like a family friendly, peaceful. You know what I could do? You know what I could do? An old person cruise. Is there a retired person cruise I could get on somewhere like for people 65 and older, 55 and up, 40 and up? I'm almost 40. I'm 36. I'm almost there. Like a 40 and up cruise. I would love that. Peace, quiet, relaxing. No obnoxious people. I could handle that. Yeah, I don't know.
Cruising down the Mediterranean and all is well until she starts heading towards Turkey. They're going to Istanbul, I believe, with all of her queens on board. And Turkey hears that they're coming, probably from all of the squealing from the many nautical miles away. And she says, actually, we are not going to let you come into port for moral reasons. So that was the first strike. Now, when that happened in Turkey, the men said, okay, that sucks. But they, held their heads up high. They continued on. They decided to go to Egypt. They were going to go see the pyramid.
Who's making these decisions? What? How is it that you are banned from one Muslim country because you're gay, and then you decide, wait, let's try a different Muslim country? This is crazy.
There's a new museum that's opened in Cairo. They're going to do that. Everybody was very excited now that they were going to be able to go to Egypt. But then, when they got closer to Egypt again, they might have heard the raving, they heard the squealing, and Egypt, with no warning and no stated reason, no morality, anything like that, they just said, hey, yeah, us too, you actually are not allowed to dock here either. Now, after that second strike, that is when all hell broke loose. Suddenly, we were getting more stranded at sea videos than when the people were stuck on the hantavirus ship. If that tells you anything, just watch.
There are thousands of men who come to the ship to celebrate and to feel free to be who we are without any fear of homophobia or to be able to be ourselves in a public space.
Okay, so...
Stop. If that's what you came to do, then why are you going to Muslim countries? Are people really divorced from reality? Like, is there hatred of Americans, white people, and the West in general? Is there hatred for these groups? Does that blind them from the truth that we know and understand that majority Muslim nations are homophobic? Like it's written into their laws, quite literally, still to this day. Like, how do they not know this? I don't understand how they don't know this already. So the audacity for you to sit here and to say, oh, we want to be in a safe space, we want to feel free, we want to express ourselves. Well, luckily you live in America where you can do that actually. Luckily you already live in a place where you can do that. You actually don't have to leave America to go express yourself freely. You get all that here. One package deal.
First of all, before we continue on with this man's clip, the thing that you missed at the beginning of this news interview is that this man and his husband, they live in Miami. They routinely party on South Beach. What homophobia are you fighting in the nightclubs of Miami that you feel
ridiculous,
like you need to get on a ship and go to the Middle East to feel free? You're getting on this boat to celebrate, to be free, to not have to deal with any homophobia. Again, you live in Miami. You live in South Florida. I think that the nearby Fort Lauderdale is the gayest city in the USA. That's what they always say. They've got the pride sidewalks everywhere. What homophobia are you fighting? Let's be real. Anyway, let's move on. Let's see what he says next.
I mean, I think what's really disappointing is that we spend a lot of our times as gay people really trying to find safe spaces, and going on this cruise is about as safe as it's supposed to get, right?
Oh,
and we were excited to go to new places and potentially experience that safe space in places like Turkey and in Egypt, where it is obviously very difficult to be a gay person in those countries.
This is so dumb.
We're
going to talk about this later, but it is so incredibly out of touch. You want a safe space. You want to go experience a safe space, so you decided to go on a cruise to predominantly Muslim countries?
Makes no
Got
fucking
it.
sense.
Makes total sense. I don't even know why I'm questioning it, guys. Let's pack it up, move on. We're all getting on the cruise ship. I personally hope mine takes me to Afghanistan. We can see what TikToker Alex Sunny, how she's faring with her Snapchat husband. And, maybe while I'm there, I could help people because, actually, maybe this cruise really wasn't about them and celebrating gayness and pride and all the things. Maybe it was actually about helping the oppressed gays in these countries.
Of course.
And actually, multiple people said this. Just watch.
It would be a great opportunity for those people in those countries to also experience what it's like outside of in the rest of the world, where people can be free and be celebrated for who they are.
My heart right now doesn't.
Oh, stop. They just cannot stop virtue signaling. They can't stop virtue signaling. Also, they went over there for charity. It was a charitable effort. Disgusting. These people have no moral compass, actually.
Go out to all the people on this Atlantis cruise. While we are sad, there's a lot of privileged people on here who obviously have the disposable income to be able to come on a cruise for.
That's true.
But I think about people who are living in the Middle East or people who are living in Turkey, people who we could have seen in Egypt that are in those places. They are not allowed to get green cards to come to America, where we can be free to love who we want for the most part. And it just makes me really sad. My heart goes out to them.
I mean, it sounds like you are going to a zoo. We want to go see those people. We want to let them see us. They can't get green cards to come to our country, but we just want them to see how happy and how free we are. Aren't we so benevolent? Oh my God, get a grip.
Disgusting.
Get a grip. It is so incredibly out of touch. Okay, but I will
Incredibly.
say this does offer possibly an interesting strategy. So maybe the next time, Atlantis, you want to do one of these gay cruises, maybe you don't brand it as the nude gay rave cruise through the Middle East. Maybe instead it's a mission trip, because that's really what all of these men are saying. You're going to show all of the oppressed poor people what they are missing as you prance around in your I Heart My Penis t-shirts.
Disgusting.
I love it. Just an idea. Mission trip cruise. Possibly my best idea yet. Now, back to the Stranded at Sea videos. Of course, as they are, lamenting on social media about all the things in their I Heart My Penis t-shirts, guess who they decided to blame? The world's punching bag.
Absolutely.
Donald Trump himself.
It's his fault. It's his fault.
Man, it's really hard to hear. I know that this kind of prejudice is not new to these kind of countries. And obviously, I don't want to go anywhere that shares those kind of views. But you just can't help but feel that
you do.
With this current
you got on the fucking cruise to go to Turkey and Egypt.
People around the world feel more emboldened to do these kinds of things. And it's just really awful. I would like to hope that the world is moving forward, but just kind of feels like we're moving backwards. But we will still be having a fabulous gay time wherever we are. Trust and believe.
Trust and believe. Trust and believe. Okay, so once again, we have multiple things to unpack in this video. Once again, he's saying, I don't want to go to a country where I'm not accepted. You're trying to force your way in. You signed up for a cruise.
To go to Turkey.
Going to Egypt and Turkey. What did you expect, sir? That they were going to welcome you in your assless chaps with open arms?
Hey, Mystical.
2,000 of you flooding the streets? I mean, seriously, use your brain. Now, second of all, I'm saying use your brain. I just don't feel like some of these individuals are very smart. Maybe it's the drugs you're taking on board with the rave. I don't know.
They're not.
Immediately blame the current administration. That is like the scapegoat of all scapegoats. Let's be real here. There are a lot of people in this conservative world that think that Donald Trump is too pro-gay.
That's true.
Wish he was actually a little more homophobic. So
let's
think about that. Trump, possibly one of the most pro-gay presidents ever.
He is
the one. Yes, he's the one who did this to you. Now, I'm sorry to inform you, but Trump's
Thank you for the membership, MOP. We appreciate you.
On rooting out degeneracy, like the nudity, protecting minors from lewd activities and harmful gender ideology. He's trying to remove taxpayer dollars so that we don't have to fund things that we don't believe in. He is doing a lot of things that I'm sure you disagree with, but he is not out here calling up the president of Turkey, asking him to keep you from docking in their port. Like, if you want to blame anyone, it should be
Right.
the idiot at Atlantis Events who decided that you
That
guys
part.
cruising there would be a really smart, great idea. And a lot of
That
people
part.
online do have that question. Like, one person said, if I were them, I'd be upset with the cruise line. But that's not as fun. It's not as fun to be upset with the rational, logical person to blame. It's more fun to be upset with Donald Trump, obviously. Anyway, this woman continues. She says, how do you advertise a cruise at destinations you know damn well won't allow your ship to dock? You can't blame the country. The country has the right to do whatever they want. It just shows how lucky they are to live in America, where they have the freedom to do
That
what
part.
they want, which is very true. Over on
That
Reddit,
part.
somebody said, this is so stupid. Whoever organized this thing is not good at their job, and a boat full of ignorant gay men who don't understand what's going on. As a lesbian, I would never sign up to dock in countries where my existence is illegal, let alone a boat full of people just like me. Like, what are we even doing? Somebody else said, maybe just a gay cruise in the Middle East wasn't a good idea.
Maybe.
And then Lauren Chen chimed in over on X, and she said, who is the person that planned a gay cruise through Muslim countries? We want to know.
We need to know.
Expose, because you,
We need to know.
are fired.
You're fired.
And to top it off, guys,
We need
I
to
did
know.
check. The cruise does not use Helix mattresses, so no, I will not be getting on board. Now, after my week-long vacation, the number one thing I wanted was to sleep.
We're gonna skip the ad.
.com/Brett. All right, now back to the story. I do want to be fair to Atlantis Events because I have been, mocking them throughout the entirety of this episode, but I do think this is an important wrinkle in the story because this is where it gets interesting. So the Atlantis CEO and a spokesperson both came out and they said that the reason why they did this was because they had done this route and routes similar to it many times over the last couple of decades, and they had done it without any problems, hence why they chose to go again this year, and now they're going, what has changed
Interesting.
over the last year? Obviously, it must be Donald Trump doing something.
Gotta be Trump.
Now, they even apparently went last year in 2025. So I guess over the last 12 months, Donald Trump really got to work making those Middle Eastern countries become homophobic. He must truly be the most powerful president in the history of the world,
He
because
is.
those countries
Absolutely.
have never been homophobic before. It must be him, and certainly not the fact that last year, Turkey declared it was the year of the family and explicitly said that part of the year of the family, actually the most important part of this year of the family, would be them cracking down on harmful and perverse ideologies to protect the youth. The president explicitly said that neoliberal cultural trends are crossing borders and penetrating all corners of the world. They also lead to LGBT and other movements gaining ground. The target of gender neutralization policies in which the LGBT is used as a battering ram is the family, saying that the family is the target, hence why he is cracking down on all of this. Now, that directive, that goal for the year, was put in place in January of 2025. And Atlantis, they still decided to do a cruise that year. It went through Istanbul, it went through Cairo.
Wow.
Apparently, it went off without a hitch. But a lot of things have changed since that directive was put in place. They have progressed. Fast forward to now, 2026, the country is actively working on pushing through a drafted bill that would criminalize promoting transgenderism. It would criminalize gay marriage, gay engagement. They have also started cracking down on gay organizations in Turkey. They started that at the end of 2025. So they have really ramped up over the last, 9 months or so.
Wow.
And then, just the cherry on top of this story, the UN, the Human Rights Commission, put Turkey on a watch list, which was updated as recently as last month. Look at this. Abusive anti-LGBT proposals resurface in Turkey. That was June 15th of this year.
Wow.
Less than a month before this Atlantis ship was set to start sailing. So the UN Human Rights Watch puts a country on a list, and you still decide less than a month later that it
We're
is
gonna
the
go.
perfect time
We're gonna
to
go
load
to
up
Turkey.
2,000 nude gay men.
Disgusting.
And actually, you're all going to embark on a journey to help those people. You and your thongs and your assless chaps, your I Heart My Penis t-shirts, and Patti LuPone. Patti LuPone, the singer, you all are going to help these poor, oppressed people. Yes, you heard that correctly. The insufferable, and I hate to say it because I grew up loving her, but the insufferable Broadway titan Patti LuPone was on board. And apparently, that gave the gays a false sense of security. Just watch this.
Both Virgin and Atlantis are going to make sure we have a great time, and we will. That's the whole gay experience, like having fun in the face of adversity. But it's like, we're too gay to come spend a bunch of money in your country?
Yes, you are. Yeah.
I guess 3 thoughts. 1, I would love to hear from the we don't need gay pride people. Don't we? 2, if you're a country watching this and you have ocean access, you host, we travel. And 3, Oh, Patti LuPone's on the ship, and she was pissed when she found out about Turkey. I'm truly scared for the country of Egypt when she wakes up and finds out about this.
Now, that was only half of that man's video. I have no words. So much of it was just idiotic, but I would just be regurgitating everything that I had said before. You get the point. But
These people are
he was
so
right.
crazy.
Patti LuPone was pissed, but she did give us one of the best one-liners of the year. Let's see if you can pick it out of her post. So this is what she put on Facebook, of course, because she's like 70 years old. She said, "I am shocked." Okay, none of us are, Patty, but I'm glad you are. "I am shocked. The Atlantis cruise that I am performing on next week has been banned from entering Turkey. A ship, a magnificent ship, full of well-heeled gay men, and me, denied entry to Turkey simply because of who is on board. I am furious, but I am sailing. As
Oh,
the
she's
ship
so
will
good.
make other ports of call. I am ready to perform for all of these wonderful men on this Atlantis cruise who deserve so much better than this.
Oh, she's
I am
great.
furious, but I am sailing. I'm furious, but I'm sailing. Put it on a t-shirt. I'm buying it. I don't care what the
Period.
situation was. That is just too good." But even though it's kind of an iconic, dramatic line, that line of hers, it really does illuminate the common denominator of this story. And that's really
Yeah.
what we need to talk about, which is privileged,
Privileged,
out of touch,
entitled people.
performative outrage. Saying this is an affront to human rights, but we persevere. We will fight on board a cruise ship with
Oh my
unlimited alcohol and affluent men. We will persevere. This is
Yep.
devastating. We'll make our TikToks, but the cruise must go on. We know that these
So
countries
privileged.
don't like gay people, that they stone them and kill them, that they are actively criminalizing our lifestyle, but they must let us in. It is our right. We want to go flaunt our lifestyle and spend all of the money that they don't have to help people, to show them what they are missing.
She's right.
Oh my God.
She's right.
Get
She's
your
right.
head out of your ass. Come on. It is so
She's
incredibly out of touch. Number one, Trump is not the problem in any of this. Blame the cruise ship company for thinking you were
Blame
all
them.
untouchable by the rest of the non-Western world. I don't care how many pride parades you do. That
It's just, it is completely unsufferable. That it's
Mr. Blonde man in the last video, I'm arguing that they are not helping. Based on what we see, I think that the people in the non-Western world are going, that's crazy. We don't want that here. Number two, you should be taking this moment to be so incredibly grateful for the
Grateful.
country that you were born into. You
The
should be so
gr-
grateful
the
for the United
greatest
States
country
and
in the
freedom
world.
that it affords you. It actually might afford you too much freedom, considering that I routinely see you all dancing naked in front of children on the streets. That's
That
a little
part.
too far. It's actually way too far, and it's not helping your case at home or obviously
in
abroad.
Turkey. Mm-hmm.
But that freedom to prance around naked, to love whoever you love, marry who you want to marry, it is a freedom that you do not have, that you would not get in most other countries, especially not in the Middle East, especially not in predominantly Muslim countries. And instead of waking up to that, being honest, acknowledging it, you choose to crap on your own country. You choose to continue to believe that you are the oppressed people of the world, and then you attempt to forcefully shove your way into other countries that already hate you, only making matters worse. And then you cry on TikTok about how it's so unprecedented, and you blame your president back at home, who was no way involved in the situation in the slightest. These are made up, privileged, out of touch problems that help you feel important and like you constantly have a fight to overcome, so that next year you can do an even bigger pride parade because you weren't allowed.
She's right. Brett Cooper is right. This is a total sham. It's a total mess. These homos are out of touch. They're overly entitled, and they're not grateful enough for living in the greatest country in the world, where they can express themselves freely, where they can indulge in freedom of speech relative to these other nations around the world. And again, I just find it to be so disheartening that a lot of these affluent, rich gay men are so vociferously anti-America. They're so anti-Western values. And we see what these non-Western values just gave them. So enjoy those Egyptian and those Turkish values. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. That's all we got for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. We may do another bonus live stream this weekend. Stay tuned for that. But let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this story today? Do they have a right to be upset? Who should they be upset with? What do you think about these Muslim countries, bunkering down on their anti